my gosh, I am so elated that today is my birthday. Welcome to the Hey Big BU podcast. Hi, I'm Kiana White, the owner of the Be Beautiful Boutiques. And I've been asked, where did you come from? How did you get started? And where are you going with this? And so I am here to talk to you and tell you a little bit about myself and my why. So I'm just going to get right into it and give you the short version, or maybe it's the long version. We'll see. I started my business. First of all, let's scratch this because let's just say I've always known that I didn't necessarily want to work for anyone else, and a 9-to-5 probably wasn't going to be my thing. However, before the age of entrepreneurship being, I guess, mainstream or popular, it was just like my grandparents and my grandfather, Key, go to work. Kiana just doesn't work. Or are you lazy? No, you're not lazy because you're up. But she don't want to work for anybody. So I started early on with different projects and doing different things. So officially in 2013, I opened my first brick and mortar. I was so excited. It was actually a consignment shop. And I got the walls painted. The clothes hung. I was open and ready for business. We had a grand opening. Everything was exciting until the first week of business. And it was kind of like, do you mean I have to stay here all day because I have these business hours, or I have to hire someone to be here? I knew right then that was not going to work. Now, I'll just tell you, I am a creative and a visionary, not so much an integrator or a planner. And so I don't think I thought that through. All I do is come up with an idea and then go for it. Yeah, not really the thing. So a fashion truck, the first fashion truck started in LA. And I thought, wow, that's such a wonderful idea. That's what I'm going to do. So I started looking for trucks and buses and looking in the bulletin board, stopping by people's houses that had them, all the things. Look, eBay, and there was always either something wrong, or I would run it by my friends or a parent or whoever was helping me look at the time, and they would be like, yeah, no. Oh, that one's great, but don't order it from eBay. What if it has salt damage? What if it has that? I just knew I was going to buy one day, and then we pulled off the cover of, I guess, the wiring harness or whatever you might call it, and it was rust everywhere. So that was my first lesson, because I always say it's one thing to have a dream and a vision or even a good idea and no money. But at that time, I did have the money, but things were not lining up. So I met with a friend of mine who actually owns a dealership, and we were going to do an online auction that night. But I prayed this prayer, and I literally said, okay, God, I know you told me to do this. Well, at least I think you told me to do this, but if you did not tell me to do this, then if I don't find anything tonight, I'll stop looking and I'll go get some dumb job, probably working for someone that I'm not going to like. But if that's the will that you have for my life, okay, let's do it. Let me tell you, not only did I find a truck, but it was for half my budget. I used the other half of the budget to get the truck dropped off at my front door. It was a FedEx truck and an online auction from Miami, Florida. So we got that here, did the build out. Things were running smoothly. My community, let me rewind. 2014, I have this fashion truck, so I run into my city's revenue department, and I'm like, oh, I have a mobile boutique. I need a business license. And they're like, what's a mobile boutique? And I said, it's a fashion truck. You mean it's a fashion truck? And they were like, yeah, we don't have we don't know what a fashion truck is. I said, well, just give me the same license that the food trucks have. And they're like, yeah, we don't have food trucks. So with that being said, I was limited to private events, private functions. I would pull up at your house with your girlfriends. I had to drive to a couple of our larger cities nearby, Atlanta, Birmingham, who were familiar with the pop-up scene and the mobile businesses, and we worked it that way. Fast forward, it was about 2016. My daughter was graduating from high school. I was recently divorced, and I figured, okay, Kiana, you may want to get a job. Actually, you need a job with a predictable income so that you'll know how much you're going to make and when you're going to make it. And so I started working for this company selling insurance. Actually fell in love with being able to serve the community. I felt like it was very helpful. I was being impactful, but we had this clause of employment that we could not own 51% of another business due to our bonuses and things like that. The truck was just sitting in the yard, okay? The truck was sitting in the yard, all freshly painted, decals on, and the traveling excitement was put on hold. Fast forward to the end of 2016, I remarried. 2017, I remarried December 2016. February of 2017, we were in a terrible car accident, which landed me in a neck brace for 7 months to the date. 7 months. My neck was broken in 4 places. Now, 7 months doesn't seem so long right now, but when I was going to the doctor every 6 weeks in hopes of being released or being healed, it was drug out. That seemed quite a while. That was a very long experience, and of course you're in the house, you're not understanding what's going to happen. So I was like, woe is me, I'm never going to drive again, let's sell the truck and all the things. Then boom, I was released out of the neck brace. My husband was like, you have a job, stop tripping, because I was online like trying to find out where I could work, how I could work from home. It was pre-COVID, so working from home wasn't, you had to really have some kind of position or either be answering the phone for Pizza Hut or something. So I was looking for all the jobs, and he said, you have a job, it's outside, calm down, you're gonna drive again. I started driving, and then I did a pop-up in holiday season of 2018. Right in downtown Montgomery, Alabama. I was absolutely in love. Not only was it a safe place for me to be, a stable location, I was not having to jump up and down on the truck, so it was good for my body. My customers began to know, where I was all the time, and they would drop in, and I absolutely loved it. We've been downtown ever since. Now, I told you that God clearly confirmed He told me to do this, but it wasn't until a few years ago that I realized how impactful this vision or dream that I was given actually is. It's definitely a ministry. For me, it's the sparkle in the eyes of the ladies that realize themselves as confident. It's universal. When we find that one item or that piece and we step out of the dressing room or into a mirror, our eyes twinkle. Now, it doesn't matter. I've had a conversation. I had one experience that sticks out to me was one of my customers came in, spoke no English. None at all. So we kind of just made our way through her shopping experience and all of the things. And the sparkle was there. And not only was the sparkle there when she came out of the dressing room, but she danced. And I say that to this day. If you dance in it, it's yours. And we laugh at that, but universally, we as women, when we see ourselves and feel good about ourselves, we usually dance or move or our eyes light up. And that for me is like the moment, because we also have a lot of hang-ups. Like somewhere in life, either we or someone else have put us in boxes and, you know, my arms are too big, I can't wear that. My legs are too small, I don't wear shorts. Green is not my color because my old boss in 2012 told me that I should never wear that. That color looks awful on me. So our mission at the Be Beautiful Boutiques is to guide individuals, usually women, but it's not limited to women, out of their boxes and into their most creative and confident selves. We do that through fun, fashion, and relationship. Relationship is of the utmost importance, and I have learned that in life and in business, that's what really matters. Like, we are literally family around here. Once you've had the Be Beautiful experience, and that could be in store or online with our live sales, but so much goes on. There's so many connections made, and that is the significant part of this business for me. My clients could shop anywhere that their taste and their budget would allow, but I am just so grateful for the experience. We literally cry, dance, pray. There's no telling what may be going on at the Be Beautiful Boutiques and with the Be Beautiful family. It's a culture. It's a culture, and oftentimes strangers come in and they kind of get sucked into it. So we absolutely just, oh my gosh, I thank God for that. And I understand that that is my purpose. That is a part of our mission, is to make those connections, to be a safe place for women and men alike to come in and feel themselves as just confident and safe and be able to open up. When I tell you we cry, like, I cannot say that enough. But once you've experienced it, you understand it, and you're happy to share that with others. Despite what my loving aunt and mentor, as well as my best friend, who's now a therapist, tried to tell me early on was, girl, what are you doing in this field? You need to be doing something in retail and fashion. And I'm just like, you all don't tell me what to do. Now, in my heart, I knew that I wanted to be doing something more creative and fun, but I also knew that if I needed a job, I understood this path of learning. I understood what I was doing and could apply for a job if it came to that. I went to school to become a mental health therapist. I did not finish because right at the cusp, after I finished all of my classwork and it was time for internship, my business had taken off and there was no way that my baby, I had grown, my gift from God was going to stand by the wayside while I went to work. And that wouldn't even work. Internship, most of those hours weren't even going to be paid. I could not sacrifice what was developing, what I saw, and what I knew God told me would happen, to go and sit in someone else's office and just for the sake of finishing a degree. So let's just say I'm a retail therapist. Now, back to my client whose husband is experiencing early onset of dementia. We began to have a conversation, and we talked about some things, and I just offered, some perspective from what I knew from experience, one, and from the knowledge that I did get in school and from hanging out with T. Brenda, who is, oh my gosh, the therapist. She's in store now, and I love it. I always send people in her office like, we have a therapist. Go, you can get therapy. Go talk to her. But anyway, not only was T. Brenda working that day, but another dear friend who started off as just a very peculiar shopper, might I add, whom I knew had just experienced or is actually still experiencing the same thing with her mother. The transition. She's had to move her mom from another city into her home and but the reason that I know all of this is because it's about relationship. We have been in here, we have cried, we have prayed, we worked through some stuff in the Beautiful Boutiques. But because of that connection, the three of them were able to have a conversation. We were able to encourage that sister who is now experiencing those things. And that's just one example of why relationship is important. This space is more than about, now, listen, when you look good, you feel good, okay? That is just it. When you look better, you feel better. If you look good, you feel good. If you look great, you feel great. But I am just beyond convinced that these walls are for relationship. While I love fashion and specifically sparkle, hot denim jackets, and kimonos, but while I love fashion, my why is to fulfill the purpose for my life. I have expressed that God gave me this vision. I really believe that when God gives you a vision, a dream, it is yours. He gave it to you, and you are the only one that can fulfill that. So my why is to first fulfill my purpose. Secondly, to show my children that, again, dreams don't die. You can accomplish whatever it is that God has aligned you to do and that you put your mind to if you just keep going. Because the thing is, life be lifing, okay? So there are always going to be obstacles and incidents and tragedies and loss and wins and celebrations and the goods and the bads, but you have to keep going. You've got to keep pushing. We are here for community. We are here because of relationship. And in this podcast, we are going to get to know individuals who have experienced some things, who have kept going although life seemed as if it was taking over or even coming to an end. We are here to celebrate each other and to empower each other to keep moving in spite of the ebbs or the valleys or the moments when we think we just cannot go any further. So we're so glad to have you here, and sit back and we're going to meet all kinds of individuals who are making an impact in their community, in our community, and have been impacted also by community and life itself.